Hey, what's up everyone? Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse. Today I want to talk about the new Netflix movie Rebel Ridge, directed by Jeremy Saulnier, who's been behind some of the best modern-day violent exploitation-y genre films like 2013's Blue Ruin and 2015's Green Room, starring Patrick Stewart as the leader of a violent white supremacist group. And I bet you that no one had Captain Picard playing that kind of role on their bingo card back in 2015. So what is Rebel Ridge about? It's about Terry, a former Marine played by Aaron Pierce, who bicycles his way into Shelby Springs on a simple but urgent mission to post bail for his cousin, who's on his way to prison where some bad dudes wants to make him unalive. But when Terry's life savings is unjustly seized by law enforcement, he's forced to go head-to-head with local police chief Sandy Byrne, played by Don Johnson, and his combat-ready officers. Rebel Ridge is one of the most satisfying action thriller I've seen in a good long while. We bear witness to a new action star being born in Aaron Pierre, but I'll get back to him. I'm a big fan of one-man army action movies with the you should not fuck with that guy premise. Think John Rambo in First Blood, John Wick, if only they hadn't left the man's puppy alone, and your dad's current favorite TV show with Reacher. Jeremy Saulnier's movies are known for their brutal violence, but in Rebel Ridge, it's as if he wanted to challenge himself and just keep it minimal and when it's justified. At a 131-minute runtime, it is a slow burn, but don't let it scare you from watching it because it just breezes on by. You're so invested in the story that you don't even feel it. The driving plotline in Rebel Ridge is Terry wanting to bail out his cousin and the fact that this real, ridiculous law civil asset forfeiture exists.
And it's legal?
Well, it's a law. It's supposed to help feds fight cartels.
Right, but they didn't find any drugs, so...
All they need is suspicion, because the seizure isn't tied to any criminal charges. And here's where it gets real murky. Chief gets to keep the proceeds. He needs it for discretionary funds, whatever that means.
So they can just take his cash away without due process, with no chance of him ever getting it back. And well, that pisses him off, as it would anybody. You add to that police harassment and the whole corrupt system that's against him, and that sets him off. The twist here is that Terry is a Marine Corps martial arts program graduate who specializes in non-lethal, extremely effective combat. So basically, he'll do anything to de-escalate violent situations, and everybody that's involved in said situation will and should come out of it unarmed. So throughout the movie, they're slowly building the tension, the dread of what else could go wrong. How can these asshole cops fuck him over even more until it's gonna blow up in their faces? In these kind of movies, our hero must have an ally, and here it's Summer, a court clerk played by AnnaSophia Robb, who's trying to help him to pay his cousin's bail and getting him out of prison, but of course it's gonna backfire on her. What Don Johnson's character, Police Chief Sandy Byrne, wants to do with the money is to just keep his precinct opened, since it had money problems, since they had to settle a lawsuit. So he feels he's in the right to do this at the expense of people like Terry.
That cash is our operating budget for the next 2 quarters, if that. All of it legally seized, all of it going back into the community.
So to get out of this situation, Terry tries to make a deal with him, and of course he gets fucked over again, and that's when we get to my favorite scene in the movie, which is wisely used in the trailer when this entire stretch of the movie up to that point has been so damn infuriating to watch until we get to this conversation between Terry, who's been pursued by Sandy and the entire police department, and we get to this line.
What if we just walk away?
Well, now you're starting to talk.
But then I was like, nah.
And man, it felt so good. And from then on, he'll use his non-lethal hand-to-hand combat moves to really good effect. Our hero, our protagonist, played by Aaron Pierce, is just cool as fuck in this. The charisma this dude exudes is off the chart. It was my first time seeing him in anything, and they sure as shit hit the jackpot with him, so Hollywood put him in more action movies. And to think John Boyega was initially playing this role back in 2021 until he pussed out and left mid-shoot. I just think Jeremy Saulnier got a hell of a lucky break because I can't see anybody else but Aaron Pierce playing this role. Don Johnson's so good here again, playing a racist piece of shit police chief in a mostly ACAB department. This is top tier villain work, which he seems to excel at in his golden years. What I like about him is that he's really choosy with his film roles. You don't see him in a lot, if at all, straight to VOD garbage like say a Bruce Willis or Nicolas Cage. So that makes it that it's always a nice surprise to see him pop up in really good movies and watch him knock it out of the park. So, do I recommend Rebel Ridge? Obviously, I do. This will have a pretty high place on my best of 2024 year-ends movie list. The writing is sharp as hell. It's a total slow burn of a movie that takes its time with its initial setup that leads into an eventual payoff that is just so good. At its core, it's basically a pissing contest between two strong men that goes horribly wrong for one of them because they just fucked with the wrong guy.
I gotta haunt these motherfuckers myself.
It's also a very good looking movie. The cinematography, the colors, the locations, because usually Netflix movies are so damn drab looking, but this one just pops. And it's easily one of the best Netflix films ever. I keep a quite small list on my Letterboxd account of the Netflix movies I've enjoyed over the years, and I'm just glad I get to add one more to that list. And damn you Netflix for not putting this in movie theaters. It would have played like gangbusters watching it with a full crowd. But hey, what you gonna do? So that was my review for Rebel Ridge. Go visit all my socials at Grindhouse Funhouse. Would be very much appreciated if you could give me a like if you enjoyed my review. And why don't you subscribe as well if you haven't done so yet. In the comment section below, what did you think of Rebel Ridge? And let me know what is your favorite one-man army action movie. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll say to you, ciao bye for now.